Okay, so this is a Miller 225L, and some guys are having some questions on how to fix theirs and everything. So mine here is got a Kohler flat 2-cylinder. It's like 25 horsepower. So I got the 110 on right now. So guys are asking how that works. You just flip this here. So right now we're on the power position and the other side's weld position. So with it being just on the power position, your outlets work. So your 220, 230, your 110, and your 110 DC. None of this here works except for your adjustment for amps. Then I got a question on how you adjust the idle on these things. You got your throttle here. Should have taken a video before I closed it all up. There is a screw on that throttle rod where it adjusts. Come on, focus back there now. There's a screw down there, you can slightly see it. So when you pull back on the throttle, it will move that rod back there, back and forth, and then that screw is sets for what your idle is for when you let that handle go. Of course, I need to change my handle so I have a so it stays. Whoever owned this before me just did that for full throttle, and then 2/3 throttle, and then idle. Choke's still normal though. Pull it out, push it in. I get 30 pounds of oil pressure, which is awesome. I use 1030 diesel oil in these. The extra zinc really helps these. Then we got a cherry bomb turbo from my Explorer. Had it. It's down there. That had this on there at one point. Took it off, didn't like it, changed it. And I'm like, well, that'll work for this. And then I was like, put it on the trailer here. And I'm like, well, when it's going down the road, it's gonna, bounce around, and then there's gonna be air or rain coming in through that. So I put a little tractor flap on it, so when you're going down the road, nothing flies in there. And then, yeah, I have this spare tub, and I just self-tapered down to the floor here, and then put a hole there and a hole back there for drainage for if it fills up with water. I'm just going to leave it out in the open. I just use the old batteries I pull out of my vehicles for these, because I pull them out when they're only half dead. So that originally had like 1,000 cold cranking amps. It's at like 400, so it's still okay for this stuff. Close this up. I don't have the bottom shroud on because actually it sucks in a lot more air from there, versus if I had it on, it only sucks it up through those flaps there and through the back. I would rather have it suck in through the side there, plus then I can clean it a little easier, and then the fan's here for cooling, so it sucks it in here and blows it out here, and then you got your adjustment for all that for the fan. So this will divert the air from the warm air from the fan to this tube. I guess I should have left that open. Oh, come on. To the carburetor, so it keeps it warm in the winter time. And it says, you can see it says Wiko. It's a Wiko Model X magneto as well, which is kind of rare. Not a lot of stuff uses magnetos. Yeah, I picked this thing up for a really good deal. I'm just going to turn it into my portable welding trailer. So if you live in southern Wisconsin, let me know, and I'll come weld for you. But other than that, it's just on a 3,500 pound axle. I threw tires, so used wheels, new tires, fenders I got off eBay or whatever, welded those on. Then the front here, there's going to be behind this, because I still got to open that, because at first I had where that bar was, the battery was going to sit there, but it's in the way, but that's fine. My job box is going to sit up here. And then on the other side is the high frequency TIG unit can sit over here. by the fender here, or I can put it where the job box is going to go and put the job box back here. But the only reason I don't put it next to it is I have to run my external fuel tank. So I'm going to get rid of that metal bar I put there, put the fuel tank up here, have a fuel pump here, run wires up to the switch. So when you turn on a little 4 to 7 psi fuel pump, pumps it from up there, goes up and goes into the mechanical fuel pump, and then pumps it into the carburetor, because I have a mechanical fuel pump off a 14 horse Kohler, which actually works very well. So I'll probably have my fuel tank here. It's a 5-gallon, like a fuel cell. It's just off eBay, just a cheap thing. Have the fuel pump sit down there. So I might not move that bar so I can put it here and have its little box and the wires. And then the high frequency TIG unit could sit next to this when I'm using it, but it weighs like 40 pounds, so you got to move it then if you want to open this door, because the only reason I got to open this door still so I can get to that stupid weld and power switch. Other than that, she's been a really good unit so far. I've been using it to actually work on the trailer with 110, because instead of running an extension cord, at least let's try it. I plugged in my Firepower 130 here, meg. It runs that no problem, didn't even hesitate. So I'm just very happy that I can run this. So if I go to a job that's just light metal, I don't have to stick weld, I can MIG weld. I'm gonna get up another one of these just so I have it on the trailer, in the job box in the back. I'm gonna build a little rack back there too, so I have a vise and a little stand and maybe a table so I can sit down back here for when I'm working. You know, you can have a little table set up. But yeah, I gotta leave some of this open because for servicing, you know, gotta drain the oil out there, spark plugs, you know. I found an air filter at Napa, which I'm very surprised there is a number inside. I cross-referenced too. Out here is pretty much gonna be left alone. I did have to weld some brackets on here so I could put a bolt through, because there was a nice piece here for where the old job trailer box used to be. I just put one of these other metal pieces and bolted it on there, but then welded that, so it's not gonna go anywhere. We got some possible storage down here. I'm thinking maybe for a welding rod, build a little slide out shelf. But other than that, it's going pretty good. Jacks for both sides. This trailer was sitting out in my grandpa's weeds for 25 years, so we pulled it out last year. This was the intention to begin with, but then he started using it on the farm, so I just didn't get time till now to grab it. So it used to be a old like Wisconsin power and light trailer, kind of neat. I think the suspension's pretty froze because it doesn't want to move, but it's only got 1,200 pounds of weight, plus I doubt the trailer weighs more than 600-700 pounds, so yeah. But this is the new rig, so I'm pretty excited, versus I had a Onan little 5,000 watt generator I'd plug that little MIG welder into and go into jobs. So keep you guys updated.